everyone to tonight's CDC meeting on November 17th, 2025. My name is Sarah Callis, and I'm one of the city's attorneys, and I'm here this evening to help facilitate the hearing. Mr. Chairman, if you would please call roll and call the meeting to order first.
Meeting to order. First of all, hello everyone. Haven't seen anyone in a while. Get everybody's here.
Okay. Chairman, where are we? Chairman Parenti.
Please call roll.
Chairman Parenti.
Yes.
Ms. Rudnicki is absent. Mr. Peterson. Here. Ms. Zadko.
Here.
Mr. Tao.
Here.
Mr. Sweeney is not here, and Mr. Guzik.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, the CDC has a quorum present. We need the motion to approve the minutes from July 21st, 2025. Can I get a motion?
I will make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear who made it. Mr. Tao?
Yes.
And a second was Teresa? Thank you. Okay, all in favor? All in
Motion.
favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
Say yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Okay, motion carries. The minutes are approved. Move on to the public hearing. Ms. Callis, as chairman, I request that you serve as a public hearing facilitator.
Certainly, I will serve tonight as the hearing facilitator, which means that I just keep the hearings moving along. For our public hearings, all testimony will be given under oath. At the hearing, there will be an opportunity for the public to offer testimony and to comment. Following the public hearing, the CDC's deliberations will be open to the public in the sense that all are invited to listen and to watch. The public, however, may not speak during our deliberations. We ask that the applicants here tonight give specific evidence to demonstrate that the proposal meets the standards of approval for the request. The burden is on the applicant to prove this. Additionally, city staff will provide a general description of the proposal followed by their analysis. With respect to others who wish to speak, you may give an opinion or present specific evidence as to why you believe that the applicant meets or fails to meet the standards for the request. Finally, we will strictly adhere to the schedule prepared for tonight's meeting. However, those wishing to submit evidence and testimony will be afforded sufficient time within which to do so. Whether you are a member of the public wishing to make a statement for the record or a witness testifying on behalf of the applicant, you will be placed under oath and then begin by stating your name and address. You will be subject to questions by the Community Development Commission and potential cross-examination by the applicant. To allow as many people as possible to be heard, we would request that you keep your remarks limited to 5 minutes. If additional time is needed, the hearing will be continued until the next available hearing date. Calling tonight's first matter and only matter, CDC 2025-0009. This case involves an application filed by the Wooddale Park District for a special use in the R4 medium-density, single-family residential zoning district for government buildings and facilities to enable operation of a multi-use recreation and community center at 107 North Wooddale Road, previously occupied by the Calvary Evangelical Lutheran Church. The applicant is also seeking approval of a site plan review and the final plan of subdivision vacating a public alley and consolidating 6 lots into one single parcel of land. Let's begin. Staff, please indicate when notice of the hearing was published and whether you have a certificate of publication from this.
Would you raise your right hand and state your name and address, please?
Gosha Pocheha, 404 North Wooddale Road, Wooddale, Illinois.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, the public hearing notice for tonight's meeting was published in Daily Herald on October 31st, 2025. We sent out notices to property owners within 200 feet of the subject property, and a sign was placed at the subject property. We do have a copy of certificate of publication on file.
Thank you, Kosha.
Thank you.
Does the applicant have a presentation?
And would you raise your right hand and state your name and address, please?
Home address or work address? Park District.
Okay.
John Markward, Wooddale Park District, 111 East Foster Road, Wooddale.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, yes.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Please note that these renderings that I have up here were created through Adobe and ChatGPT, so they're not the final renderings, and I haven't really presented them to the board. We're still trying to figure out what we're gonna do to redesign the front with the giant cross, if you're familiar with the building. So the Calvary Center was purchased, it was purchased early this year. The dates are blending here with me. From the old Calvary Church congregation. They were beginning to dissolve, and I met with Pastor Heller to talk about the parking lot and the playground that's on the property that they own, but we maintain. And conversations were moving forward about what were they gonna do with the church? And I said, well, you know, we were looking at trying to figure out what we're gonna do with our seniors and our senior group, because they use a room that's in the recreation center that's shared by kids and everything, and it'd be nice that our seniors had a dedicated space. So walking through the church with Pastor Heller, we became pretty close in the conversations on what we could do with this facility if the Park District bought it, as well as trying to maintain the integrity of the church. So again, with that being said, please be kind on these renderings. These are done by an amateur, inspiring designer. So this is the chapel area. As you can see right now, again, these were placed in there by myself, but the floor and altar is actually clear of the pews, which was really nice because the pews were taken by another church, so they were reutilized, which was very nice. Like I said in the beginning, that this is primarily going to be used as a senior center for senior programming, senior events, senior luncheons. It has a very nice, appealing little area that they can call their home. But it's also going to be used for general recreation programs and special events. The upper level, like I said, primary home to the senior center. There's a nice office space that's outside the chapel that they can use for their meetings, card games and whatnot. The lower level is going to focus on youth activities, and I put in there messier activities because it's an old school church basement, if everyone remembers what that is, with the hard floors and the concrete walls. It's good for our teen camp programming. It also has a nice little kitchen down there for, you know, little snacks and whatnot. And there's also additional rental space and rooms off to the side for extra storage. These are, again, concept overviews for what we're going to be doing. We haven't ironed out all the details, but this is a preliminary schedule for the senior center, what we do for daily offerings, or daily drop-ins, you know, games. We purchased a lot of electronic cognitive games for seniors and kids alike to play. They're like almost video game stations, but you can play with multi-people on it, and it's a good way to keep your brain fresh, and as well as, you know, have some fun. We're going to be probably having a part-time person doing the daily activities. Our full-time senior coordinator is going to be probably moving over there once we're in full operations. Part-time assistants, again, to help with programs, trips, memberships, customer service during the open hours for the facility. And that's just a little open window that leads into the chapel. We're going to put like a little coffee area and serving window there. Again, concepts. And that's a nice little landscape rendering I try to do as well. So that completes my presentation. It's pretty straightforward. Like I said, the focus is going to be senior heavy with events and programming to fill the gaps. So thank you.
Does any member of the Community Development Commission have any questions for the applicant? Right.
John,
Yeah.
Eddie Mitchell.
Hi.
It says in the packet that it's ADA compliant. Are the seniors going to be restricted to upstairs? Because I don't recall like an elevator or a.
So there actually is an elevator?
There is, okay.
There is,
Really?
yeah. And we are going through, there's an ADA compliance list that we're going through currently right now to meet all the sort of blips on the radar that we got from, we hired a special ADA consultant to come out, and most of it was door handles, which is the most random thing, but it was door handles and like height of a sink. So we're just gonna redo the sinks. But for the most part, it's good. But there is, you can squeeze in, it would be a 2-person elevator. But yeah, it's easy access to go up and down. There's also a ramp off the side that goes to the 2nd floor as well.
That's good.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Are you changing the front of the church at all, or?
That was my crude renderings in the beginning that
I mean, from the outside. you know.
from the outside, yeah. It's, obviously there's a giant cross there.
Yeah.
And so we want to do something that, covers the cross, but at the same time, in my mind, I still want to keep the integrity of the church.
Right.
So, again, very crude renderings, but something that's artistic that won't, compromise the integrity of the church, if that makes any sense. And make it somewhat classy.
Yeah, one more. Have you done any or had any consideration, I know that we do the polling. I'm sorry. We do the polling for elections over at the school as well as the rec center at the Park District. Would this be a possible polling place? You've got an
Oh, yeah.
ample parking lot, a big
Yeah.
area inside.
Yeah, definitely. We're actually, believe it or not, we're doing a polling for next year at White Oaks. That's the first time we ever did it at that location. So, yeah, our facilities, we'd be open to anything. And I think it would be nice in the basement as well. I think there's very ample space down there to house, plenty of polling stations.
Any other questions? No? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So what we're going to do next is go to staff to get staff's comments on this, and then we'll allow the public to ask questions. Does staff have a presentation?
So very briefly, I'm pretty sure most of us are very familiar with the site, but I just wanted to kind of bring a quick overview. The subject property is located 107 North Wooddale, so we're right at the intersection of Montrose and Wooddale, towards the south end of the city. The site is directly to the north of the White Oaks Park. So there's an existing park and property owned by the Wooddale Park District. So it's almost like an extension of their location at that spot. In terms of zoning, the property is zoned R4, which is our residential zoning district, and it's really surrounded by other residential zoning districts. So it really fits in the fact that it will be serving seniors and residents. A lot of it will be people who live in the area, but also anyone that's in the city will be able to access it. Existing conditions, we do have the existing church building. The building was built around 1950s. There was a building addition done in the 70s. There is an existing parking lot. It's quite sizable. Our code actually requires less parking spaces than what is being provided. There's 48 parking spaces. There's a couple accessible parking spaces on site. The access to the site is provided by 2 entrances. There's one on Montrose and one on Walnut. The site, it's about 1 acre, about 1 acre in size, so it's fairly small. And we really don't have any record of prior zoning ordinances for this particular property. This is just another picture of the existing conditions on site, and we can see the parking lot and the building. So this was taken off of Montrose, and that is Wooddale. In terms of the zoning requests, so compliance with the Unified Development Ordinance, the requests that are in front of CDC tonight is the request for special use. Because the property is in a residential zoning district, and the type of use that will be essentially a senior center or a community center, that falls under the government buildings and facilities zoning use under our UDO. That particular zoning use requires a special use approval, hence the petition in front of CDC tonight. I do want to emphasize with special uses is generally they are uses that are permitted, they're desirable uses, but they require this additional level of overview just to see if any specific conditions need to be placed based on the different types of uses that we have. Every special use application also requires a site plan review. This is done by staff. It was mentioned in the memo, but essentially we kind of do the zoning review on the subject property. And then we also have a request for the final plat of subdivision, which is to consolidate the zoning lots, and I'll speak about this a little bit later in more detail. I did mention the parking, so there are 48 parking spaces on site. The code actually requires 25 parking spaces for this particular type of use. So the parking requirements are met with the existing, or actually exceeded with the existing parking lot on site. There aren't any major physical changes being proposed, so really the request here is for the approval of the zoning use, of the special use. There are some minor cosmetic upgrades that are being proposed, and some of them will come a little bit later as well. One thing of note is the existing landscaping. So there really isn't a lot of landscaping on site, but because there aren't any physical changes being proposed to the parking lot, they are permitted to continue as they are right now. However, that is something that staff would suggest as the center gets operational for the Park District to consider adding a little bit more landscaping over time just to keep up the site and the appearance of the site. In terms of the plat of subdivision, the site was last subdivided, I believe, in the 1920s. And it does consist of 6 residential lots. There is a public alley that essentially runs through the center of the parking lot. It is unimproved. Based on the aerial photography, the alley was never really constructed in there. This is probably just part of the original subdivision, but when the church was constructed, that alley was never really taken in consideration. So because we're going through the zoning request tonight, we asked the applicant to have a plat of subdivision prepared so that we can kind of clean up the property record. So all of the 6 lots will be consolidated. The public alley will be vacated by the city. And there is, there's actually a couple of public utility lines. There's a sewer and a little bit of sanitary sewer that kind of traverse the property. So that plat of subdivision will include an easement for the city to be able to continue maintaining those utilities. So that's one of the things that I wanted to point out. The plat of subdivision that was included in the packet doesn't include those easements, but we are adding a condition on the approval, a recommended condition, that this petition would not move for the city council consideration until we have the final plat of subdivision that denotes all of the required easements, and then it will just have to get approval by our engineer. Fairly standard process. In terms of compliance with a comprehensive plan, the site is designated as civic institutional on the future land use plan, so it really fits very well into the comprehensive plan and the sort of the future land use plan. This will, I'm sorry, it says a park. It's a facility that will serve residential neighborhoods and community, and it does help to achieve goals and objectives of the comprehensive plan. Public comment, we did not receive any comment, although this morning I did receive an email from the DuPage County Forest District. They actually said they would submit an official response, but they haven't, but really all it said that they have no comments or objections. They only wanted to know if there were any physical changes being done, and I explained that there really weren't, and they said they were fine with this. So in conclusion, city staff do recommend that CDC recommend approval of the petition. This is, once again, the special use for government facilities government buildings and facilities, the site plan approval, which was administrative, and the final plat of subdivision. We do recommend a couple conditions. The first condition is fairly standard. It's just the fact that we want to make sure that this special use is consistent with the staff memo and the exhibits that were submitted by the applicant. And the second one talks about the final plat of subdivision, just recognition that the easements will be added and they would have to be reviewed and approved by city engineer before the petition can move forward. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Goja. Does any member of the Community Development Commission have any questions for staff? All right, no questions. So now we will open up the floor for questions of the public or any comments the public may have on the proposed application. I just want to remind the public that this is limited to the proposed application, and so I ask that to the extent that you have any statements or questions that you direct them at the specific proposal. All right, would you please get sworn in and step up to the podium, please? Marilyn will swear you in.
Raise your right hand, please, and state your name and address.
My name is Fernando Lascano, and I live on 101 North Walnut, right
Yes.
across from the church.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So
I
help you
do.
God. Thank you.
The first question is, would this facility ever be used or considered to be used for daycare, preschool?
Do you want me to go up there or can I answer that?
If you would go up and for the mic.
That's not in the plans right now.
Okay.
Yeah, for right now, the only thing that is currently on our radar is camp, summer camp, that we utilize the basement, and then senior programming and some meeting or events.
Okay. So there's a possibility it may be used for a senior rehab center?
No.
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 Okay.
If anything, I mean, I wouldn't say never to, in regards to any kind of physical programming there. In regard, you could do like chair aerobics and that kind of stuff in the chapel area because it's a nice hard floor. But in regards to full rehab, no.
Okay. Then lastly, one last question is, birthday parties, would it be available for birthday parties for younger kids
Yeah.
to be rented out?
That would be a possibility as well. It's going to be utilized as a rental facility. Obviously, Park District programming comes first, and the open spaces would be utilized for rentals. Right now, I don't know if it's probably the best location for like a kids' party, since the rec center is probably more fun.
Right.
Or White House too. But yeah, I mean, nothing's off the table in regards to birthday parties or events or that kind of thing.
Very good. Thank you, that'll be it.
Great. Thank you. Are there any other comments or questions from either the public or anyone else? Okay. Having no additional testimony, do we have a motion to close the public hearing for case number CDC 2025-0009? And anyone can say so moved.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We will do a roll call on the motion, please.
Chairman Parenti,
Yes.
Mr. Peterson. Yes. Ms. Zadko. Yes. Mr. Tao
Yes.
and Mr. Guzik.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so the public hearing portion is closed, and we are now entering the portion where the CDC deliberates. And we're now proceeding into the deliberation on the merits of this request. Does any CDC member have any statements or comments that they wish to make at this time? Okay. There being no discussion, I am looking for a motion. Based on the submitted petition and the testimony presented, the proposed special use and final plat of subdivision meet the standards of approval and are consistent with the UDO and comprehensive plan, and therefore, I move that the Community Development Commission adopt the findings of fact included with the staff memo dated November 17th, 2025, as the findings of the Community Development Commission and recommend to the City Council approval of the special use for government buildings and facilities and final plat of subdivision to enable operation of a community center at 107 North Wooddale Road in case number CDC 2025-0009 with the following conditions. 1. The special use shall substantially conform to the staff memo dated November 17th, 2025, and the attached exhibits, except as such plans may be modified to meet city code requirements. Where deviations to the codes have not been requested as part of this approval, the existing codes must be met as applicable at the time of permit application. 2. The revised plat of subdivision dedicating public utility easements shall be submitted for review and approval by city engineer prior to consideration of the petition by the PZB committee. Do we have that motion? And anyone can say so moved.
So moved.
A second? Any further discussion?
Sorry, who made this, who seconded? Mr. Peterson, thank you. And a roll call, please.
Yes.
Chairman Parenti,
Yes.
Mr. Peterson. Ms. Zadko.
Yes.
Mr. Tao.
Yes.
And Mr. Guzik.
Yes.
Okay, having received a unanimous vote of 5 votes, the motion passes. Mr. Chairman, that concludes tonight's hearing matters. I cede the floor back to you.
Is there any report from staff, anything happening? I noticed they're starting construction over here.
Yes, and so I didn't prepare sort of like an official report. We do have a couple projects that we're working on. Obviously, the big one is the apartments next door. They were issued permits about a month ago, and the construction's moving forward. So I know they want to do a lot more before winter starts. So that one is definitely moving forward. I will also note Cyrus One, the first data center building, that one is under construction, moving very fast. I think they want to be done early spring with the first building.
And how about the water tower? What's going on with that?
So the water tower, it was approved by City Council. There was at some point, maybe a reconsideration when it came to the location, but to my understanding, the 310 East Irving Park Road property. So exactly how we saw it as a special use was approved. I think right now we may be waiting for the actual parts, the steel contracts to come in, because I know there's a pretty long lead to get everything ordered and in place. So that project will be moving forward, most likely probably in the spring, but it is being handled by our Public Works Department.
And Marinos?
Marinos, yes, we are working with them on the project, and we're hoping it's going to move forward soon.
I see some activity there, but I think that's for the Estes building.
Correct. The one next door, the 390 East Irving, I believe, is the address, did go through a facade improvement grant application. That's through our streetscape committee.
Okay.
And so they're doing significant improvements to the exterior, the entire front elevation and site improvements and so on. So that one is under construction right now.
That's good. All right. Okay, thank you.
I have a question. The construction on Ash and Irving, a building that's right across the street from Marino's, what is that?
So that is, Diego Diasti went through a text amendment a couple years ago, you may recall, to allow food prep in that specific zoning district. So that is the building that he is working on. That will be I believe it's 390 Irving Park
Is that
Road.
part of Marino's?
No,
No.
no.
Okay, and there was another question. I don't know, the bylaws, we used to have a masonry percentage of a new building. Is that still in effect?
It's a little bit different. So we used to have a section, actually in our building code, that was very specific when it came to percentages on elevation. It was different, and it was only for commercial and industrial buildings. We do not have anything for residential. Right now, when we had a big rewrite of our entire code, of our UDO back in 2022, there was a section added that's called performance standards and design standards and guidelines. Those are the sections that address it. For commercial buildings, we kind of have, the percentage that's in there, it's 50% of durable material, so it's not as specific as it used to be. But it's really up to the design guidelines to kind of try to push the designer to provide a product that's a little bit higher standard. But those percentages are not exactly the same way as they used to be.
Are we gonna get any updates for our booklets, for our building codes?
Yes, so we are actually working, another project that the department's been working on is a rewrite, or actually an update to our building codes. So that one just went through the Planning and Zoning Committee, the first workshop. There's actually 2 more workshops because the chapter is fairly substantial. So our building codes are expected to be updated by January.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, I need a motion to adjourn. Can I get a motion? Huh?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, motion carries. Meeting's adjourned. Quick
All right.
meeting.
Thank you.